With regard to the potential prosecution of the press for the disclosure of material, that is not something that I've ever been involved in, heard of, or would think would be a wise policy.
That was embattled Attorney General Eric Holder during a Justice Department hearing that was on May 15th, and almost a month of back and forth with House Republicans. Holder now has finally responded to their request for a further explanation of that testimony. Now, just yesterday, the chief law enforcement officer wrote a new letter maintaining that he didn't lie under oath, despite the fact that we now know that he personally authorized the spying on Fox News' James Rosen. Now, the letter reads in part, quote, "I do believe that a thorough investigation of the disclosure of classified information that threatened national security was necessary and appropriate." So now the Attorney General thinks the investigation was necessary and appropriate only 3 weeks after he told the world that he felt, quote, remorse. Pretty interesting. Here with reaction, TV, radio talk show host, a Sean Compton's production, host Billy Cunningham, and Fox News contributor Tamara Holder. It's not something I've been involved in, but he did sign the affidavit and says it's necessary and appropriate. Is that contradictory?
No. It's contradictory for somebody who doesn't understand the law like yourself, Sean.
Oh.
But in order for me to give you...
Bill Cunningham's a lawyer.
Attorney General, state of Ohio attorney for some 35 years. You are judicially challenged, and you're one of the stooges of the left that will always be there to excuse away criminal behavior. You suffer from Bob Beckelitis, which is an incurable, fatal condition of liberalism that has caused people like Eric Holder to be the consigliere for President Barack Hussein Obama. Sign the petition, Tamara, to call for the resignation of the chief law enforcement officer of this nation because he lied under oath when he criminalized journalism, and you know he did it, but you refuse to do what's right.
But I really hope that when you speak to a judge, you don't point your finger in the person's face the entire time by making your point.
Are you a judge?
Your finger does not.
Whose finger's in my face right now?
Mine, because I'm telling you to shut up. But anyway.
Wait a minute, you shut up. Know your role and shut your mouth.
My role as a woman.
Yeah.
Well, tell me how
okay,
it's not something that I've been involved in. Then he signed the affidavit, said it was necessary and appropriate. How is that not contradictory?
Well, because the issue is whether or not they were after Mr. Rosen, and just because he is looking into the criminal conduct of what occurred, it does not mean that he's going after.
He told
James
the
Rosen
judge
himself.
Wait a minute, didn't he tell the judge?
I signed many affidavits as an AG in the state of Ohio. You sign an affidavit under oath that what I'm saying is accurate. When he signed the affidavit on the search warrant, he criminalized journalism. He said James Rosen is part of a criminal conspiracy. That's what he did. Oh, he's part of a criminal conspiracy, which is a crime, a federal felony.
And I agree that I think
Holder accused Rosen of a felony. Now he's backing off.
No, he has not accused him. He said that he is looking for information to determine whether or not he is. Now, I do absolutely disagree with the fact that that statement that he was a possible co-conspirator should have been in there. And the Attorney General has a lot of explaining to do why he used that language. Because really this investigation, which the Republicans have been very, very forceful on wanting to know where these leaks come from and why nobody's been prosecuted. Back in 2012, Lamar Smith, a Republican, he's the one who said the Justice Department has not taken the initiative to prosecute the leaks of national security secrets.
If you sign a false affidavit, you're lawyer enough to know that's perjury.
But it's not
He can go
false.
to jail for that.
He simply made a mistake.
A big mistake, under oath.
By saying that the person could be a co-conspirator. He wasn't lying about what was inside of the affidavit.
He signed a false affidavit, and you know it.
It was not. It was an error.
He was with it before
and
he was against
it.
It's an error. An error. Pete Rose made an error when he bet on baseball and lied to a federal judge. Clinton made an error when he had oral sex in the Oval Office and then before a federal judge lied about it. Holder makes a mistake by lying under oath to a federal judge, and you're sitting here equivocating and pontificating as if he did nothing wrong. Get your finger out of my face. The fact that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
All right, let me jump in here. This is not the first time. When Operation Fast and Furious, he was under oath, and he said he just heard about it in recent weeks, and then documents showed and proved that he knew it 10 months earlier. Did he lie under oath
He
then?
lied under oath that time. Sean, we have a serial liar. He's Tom Hagen to The Godfather. And everyone is acting as if, you know what? He's like the piano player in a horror house not knowing what's going on the second floor. He's just playing the tunes. I have no idea what's going on. Let's face it, Tamara, he is a stooge man for the radical leftists.
What is your
and he's lying.
obsession with stooges? Aren't stooges like little
I'm sitting
elves?
next to you. I'm sitting next to you.
Oh.
And you're a liberal stooge and an excuse monger for the Obama administration.
Never mind.
What are you going to cry?
No, I'm not going to cry.
You're not going to cry?
No, I'm not going to cry.
All right, hang on. Let me jump in. When he testified that he only learned about Fast and Furious just in the last few weeks, and then documents proved that he knew about it nearly a year earlier, isn't that lying under oath?
It depends on the extent to which he knew something. I think that he's being very careful.
His fingerprints were on it. I mean, he knew all about it.
He didn't know the extent of it. He had heard of it, but he wasn't involved. And through the course of
He admitted, but he went back and admitted but only after he got caught.
No, I think that he didn't realize the severity of it. Just like in this situation, you're looking at me like I'm crazy. I am not crazy.
What happens to me if I lie under oath?
What if he lies up?
It was an error.
You wouldn't even look at me anymore, will you? You wouldn't even look at me.
He identified Rosen as a possible co-conspirator, and I think that that's wrong. That he shouldn't have said that because clearly
then he lied about it.
But that's not a lie. That's saying, we made a mistake.
Not something I've been involved in.
We're not looking to turn him into a co-conspirator. All of these investigations have been, how do we get the information to find out who is giving the leaks?
How many false
Who is
affidavits have you signed?
for the leaks?
How many false affidavits have you signed to a federal court?
I haven't signed any false affidavit.
Well,
but
the attorney general has.
Shake hands and make friends.
I don't shake hands with trolls.
No.
Oh, gee,
Name calling takes the place of reason.
You started it.
You began it. Don't you look at me like that.
You compared me to Bob Beckel. I think you're taking lessons from Michelle Malkin on how to call people names.
All right. Coming up next.